everyone, welcome to another episode of Spiritual Superpowers. This is Dawn, I'm Karen, and we have, well, I don't know if another great episode for you today.
Today we're going to be talking about what Karen has gone through recently in the past week.
Yeah, actually, fresh off
the surgical table.
Yeah, so I a ruptured appendix and I had to go to emergency and have surgery, and the surgery didn't go as planned, but I'm here now and we can tell the story.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, appendectomy is quite often a routine.
Yeah.
But with Karen's previous cancer history and your surgeries that you've had in the abdominal area, it does complicate things just because of the amount of scar tissue that you have. And so that was something that they were concerned going into, and then found out that it was even more work.
It was ruptured when they didn't think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a CT scan, so I don't know why they didn't see it, but I'm not.
Sometime between the CT and I guess you on the table, it had ruptured. Yeah, to the point where they had to call him back up too. They had to call in a second surgeon for an appendectomy. Wow.
Yeah, it was supposed to take 20 minutes and it took an hour and 40 minutes. But let's go back a little bit, because the interesting thing was, you know, when I was in emergency, I texted Dawn saying, you know, not feeling great. This is what's going on. Can you send me some energy? And then when I realized I was going to have surgery, Dawn has tuned into my past surgeries and she got some amazing stuff. So I said, well, here we go again. If you can, this is time to tune in.
Yeah.
And you know, keep an eye on what's going on.
So it's called remote viewing.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm actually able to do naturally. I learned that I could do it by doing a meditation, and it was, I was trying to remember how I even got into it, but I think it was similar to maybe like a journey meditation.
Oh, okay.
Where I was led somewhere, and when I was, you know, when you imagine yourself kind of going through the woods or whatever, wherever I'm being drawn to or led to, I came to a shore, and I remember being able to see all around me and see certain buildings, which I somehow had a knowing that the one white building was this winery in Niagara. But I was on another side of a river, and I really don't know the area that well. So after I came out of the meditation, I went online and I looked at a map, and I actually saw where the winery was, that there is a river there, and where I was on the other side would have been in the States. So the next day I got in my car and drove down, crossed the border.
I remember because you called me
Yeah.
saying, I'm kind
This
of
is what
doing
I'm doing
this.
this, yeah.
I don't know why, but
Yeah. And there was a state park right across. So I went to the state park, walked around, and I found the spot. And it was exactly like I had seen. Like, it was so cool. And at that point, I just thought it was like nothing overly significant happened there. But I think the point of it was, it showed me that
you had this ability.
This is an ability that I have. And then I started to kind of practice it a little bit, but it was really with your first surgery. I had just planned on giving Karen distance Reiki. And a lot of times when I do a distance Reiki treatment, as you've probably seen in previous episodes, I tune into the person and I use a little bear as their body. And I'm usually guided what to do. But when you were in that surgery, I couldn't find you. And so I felt like I had gone up and out.
Yeah.
I'm out in the cosmos, in the ethers, and just kind of looking around, and all of a sudden I come to you, but you aren't this. You're not in your physical body. You're in spirit.
Yeah.
And you lead me to an OR. And here we are floating above the operating room.
Yeah.
And I just went with it.
And the other kind of cool thing with this is my family was quite worried about me for obvious reasons. So she was keeping my family posted on what was going on in the surgery, which was comforting for them.
I'm glad, because I didn't quite know what was going on, but I knew it was happening. So yeah, I would kind of like doing a mediumship reading. I would be in, I'd see what was coming out, I'd come up, send a text. And some of the things were really neat because it didn't make sense to what was happening or what you expect to happen. And so then I was able to relay a lot of information to your family, what was happening. But then we actually got to have a conversation. And you told me some of the things that you want to do and how you would be feeling afterwards. Remember the bright, like I was told that she was gonna have like headaches and she wouldn't like the lights, and sure enough that happened afterwards.
But you were nice enough to put your energetic hands over my
That's
eyes
right.
to shield
Yeah.
my eyes.
That's
remember?
right. Yeah. So it was really, you came out with the, you told me the time, you said it was going to go faster than expected, and you gave me the exact time.
Well, you gave me the exact time.
Well,
so
it was-
I didn't know. She said, what was it? I can't remember what it was exactly.
I feel like saying 3:44, but
3:40.
that was...
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I didn't know how long it took. I was told it was supposed to take 6 hours. That kind of freaked me out, a 6-hour surgery. Like, when did they go to the bathroom? I don't know. But anyway, so when the assistant surgeon came in to check on me, I asked, I said, how long did the surgery take? And she looked at me like,
It's a weird question.
I have to check our notes, but I think it was around, it was faster than we scheduled. I think it was around 3 hours and 40 minutes. And I went, bingo.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
It was really, really cool to get all those validations afterwards. So when you had a second surgery, I wanted to do the same thing. And this time, your husband and your sister and brother-in-law were waiting there with me, you know, and then just, I would go in, again, relay information. Again, more accurate information came out of that
crazy.
one. So when I knew Karen was going to be in surgery on the weekend, I wanted to, there's so much comfort in knowing that I can be there with you. And Reiki is really good at stabilizing vitals and of course reducing pain and helping with healing. So it makes me feel more in control if I can be there, you know, maybe not physically, but
it gave me a lot of comfort too. It's a little scary, you know, going into an OR.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though it was supposed to be routine.
Right. I
had an inkling it wasn't going to be routine though.
Yeah.
So.
But you had a really good surgeon, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because we, no one wants to have surgery. And with it being a little bit more complex, Karen really didn't want to have surgery. And so we decided to just put it out there that the best surgeon would come to you. And shortly right after we decided that, they came in thinking they were just about to say whether or not they were going to do surgery or not. And then they decided not to have it and to wait till the next day.
Or wait till the next day to decide. Yeah.
And I like that, thinking that maybe what we had done is shifted that energy. It wasn't just going to be anyone who was available that day to do the surgery.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, as soon as I talked to the surgeon, I knew he was the one. And I feel like you helped set that up, right?
Yeah.
And even though it didn't go well, it wasn't his fault. It's just my body did kind of some weird stuff and presented a lot of challenges. And he even tuned into that. But let's kind of play a little bit of the video of Dawn tuning in real time to my surgery.
Yeah, so what I would normally do is text or write notes, but I thought, I'm just going to record it. I don't know why I hadn't thought of doing that before.
What a great idea.
Yeah. So what I did was, majority of the meditation was me doing Reiki on Karen during the surgery. But it's kind of boring to just watch me do that. So I cut out those parts and just kept the parts where you see me speaking, and so here you go. This is a little clip of what it's like when I'm doing remote viewing during a surgery.
See you on a ventilator. Vitals are stable. I'm going to come in behind you at your head, give you Reiki. Count 4 people in the room. 3 on your left, 1 on your right. Looks like it's being done laparoscopically by the person on the left. The person on the right does have tools though, and is assisting. Lots of pink, like bubblegum pink light. Karen, your dad's here with me. I'm asking him to tell me anything, please, that can help you. Brings up peaches and cream for some reason. Not like to eat it, but just as a reference to something. He says it's okay to be angry, but don't let it break me. And he says the same to you. A lot of 2s, 222, 7, 222, 227, 222, 227. Your dad's showing me the dark side of the mountain, where the shadow gets cast. This mountain has 1 big peak and 2 small peaks. Like you have to cross over the first 2 peaks to get to the main peak. I've gone down to your feet. Archangel Haniel is at your head. They are kind of like one person's pushing on your left side, on Karen's left side, pushing it to move it, the entire lower abdomen towards the right. Seems like the surgeon, if you saw him, you wouldn't know he was a surgeon. Lots of root chakra work. I'm now putting my hand, one underneath your tailbone, the other one underneath your head. I got the idea that it was uncomfortable for your tailbone. I'm not sure if it's the way it's being pulled from the inside, but it didn't seem like you liked it. Offering Reiki to your sacrum, to your low back. Now I'm putting one hand underneath your tailbone, the other one on your abdomen. I feel like they're packing you, but that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's just cause to clean up.
You know, as you can see, there were some things that Don didn't understand, and we had to kind of debrief afterwards because it didn't make sense, right?
Again, when you know the procedure of a appendectomy, I know what to expect. So when I'm seeing things that aren't happening in the way that I'm expecting, yeah, it throws me off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then you know, that's your confirmation that you're getting, they're not just thoughts from your own mind, it's information coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 4 people in the room.
Which was exactly true. There were 2 nurses, the surgeon and an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, doing laparoscopic because Karen's first surgery didn't quite go, it was not traditional at all. So I was caught off guard, and this time I'm like, okay, good. I can see it's laparoscopic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then your dad came in because I'm sure you noticed I look a little tired. It's because I'm concerned, so I had a good cry before going in. So your dad came in.
Yes.
And he was to my left. He talked to me about peaches and cream.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't, and as you heard me say, it's not the food, it's a reference to. Mm-hmm. And why is that?
And so peaches and cream is a reference to the days we spent as a family when I was younger at the cottage. And whenever he connects with anyone, he talks about the cottage. So the cottage, the peaches and cream reference was when we would go up to the cottage, there was a fruit and vegetable stand, and we would get peaches and cream corn. Mm-hmm. And that was a big treat that always meant cottage, right? So if you say peaches and cream to anyone in my family, and I did afterwards, they all said, oh, corn.
Yeah. So that's really neat. I love that. Because I figured there would be some kind of reason you'd be able to explain why.
He loved the cottage. So to anyone he can connect with, to identify himself, he talks about the cottage in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
So
so
that
nice to
was
have
cool.
him there, and I felt it very comforting, especially when he said that it's okay to be angry, just don't let it break you, and that meant a lot to me. So, thank you, Harold, for being there with me.
And with me.
Yes.
I knew he's with me, and I know he's always with me, but sometimes he's closer to me when I really need it.
Yeah, and he was a big part of that. Some other things that happened during
Yes.
the surgery. At one point, I see them push the left
Left
side
side.
of your abdomen. It didn't make any sense. The appendix is on the right. So
Yeah, right
like,
lower quadrant.
yeah, so I don't understand why they were pushing, and I thought, like, are they pushing to create, like, so it comes out this, I don't know, and it turns out that they had to, the laparoscopic opening on that side needed to be larger because they had to get in
A staple gun.
yes, they had to get in a
Or
staple
a
gun.
stapler, whatever.
So that pushing, that
They had a lot of trouble getting that in there.
So
I'm
that's an
sure they were
example.
pushing along.
Yeah, so that's an example of, like, this makes no sense because it's on the wrong side of the body.
Right.
But now that makes sense because they had to do a little bit more extra work there. And then at the very end, before I tuned out, I saw them all of a sudden, like, putting what looked like gauze. And again, I'm thinking, it's laparoscopic. How can they be doing
This is
that?
routine laparoscopic
Yeah.
surgery.
So why are they all of a sudden stuffing you full of stuff? And well, it's because she ruptured.
My appendix ruptured and they had to do a lot of cleanup.
So,
Yeah, so when she told me that, or when I watched the video and I saw that, I said, oh yeah, there was a lot of cleanup. But
the good news is that I did get the sense, so claircognizant, I have a knowing that once Karen is completely healed from the surgery, you are going to notice a lot less symptoms in ways that you didn't even realize that you were having symptoms.
yeah, because obviously I had this brewing for a while. I don't think you go immediately into a ruptured appendix.
No, and Karen has had appendicitis in the past.
So I don't know, I had to look back and think about how I was feeling leading up to this. I thought I was feeling good, but you know, you get these things and you kind of blow them off, you know, as other things. And
that's where I think what you were trying to say is that there are going to be a lot of things where you're like, oh, I haven't had this, I haven't had as many headaches, I haven't had as much stomach upset, I haven't had rib pain, you know, like I haven't had, I don't know, a metal taste in my mouth or whatever, you know, like that type of stuff is going to be like, oh, I wonder if that was the appendix. Yeah, so I'm excited for you to feel better.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much. Oh, so no.
Well, that's why we're on this.
That's
journey.
right. Yes, that's why
And
we have.
we started this channel. It was all about we're both going through tough things, you know, and we're looking to Spirit to bring us answers, and we're taking you on our journey with us. And why not take you through the surgery I just had?
Yes, that's
And this amazing ability of Dawn's. You know, you don't get that opportunity, and as much as I'm glad she can do it, hoping she won't have to do it again anytime soon.
I'm grateful to have this ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom was in the hospital. I went and visited her a lot, especially when, because with COVID, we weren't able to go to the hospital. And my mom was not really responsive and on a ventilator. So I could go check in with my mom. And, you know, with everyone being so worried, it brought me so much comfort and confidence to know that, you know, my mom was like, it's okay, I'm just resting, I'm just sleeping, I'm fine. Yeah, really grateful for this ability.
Yeah. So hopefully you liked this episode. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode.
Yeah, so stay tuned for more episodes coming up on very interesting supernatural topics and staying in tune with what's going on with our own healing journeys. So thank you again for all your support. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay.